So anyway, I'm just sitting here recognizing a couple of different ways to go about it from the traditional internet people doing internet things. I do want to say that under no circumstances do I mean to appear as a dishonor to my name or my country. I am very frustrated in a 40-year-old condition, as a body, as a human being, as a man, as a father, unmarried. And I'm trying to stay in the realm of sound mental health and well-being, and I'm not so sure I am all the time. You know, the body has its own agenda: eat, sleep, sex, and needs, and I'm not so sure how the hell to handle it all the time. And I definitely am exercising a little more in my head, my intellect, than I am probably. You know, I'm redirecting, drives and misdirected aggressions and energies and things. And I'm telling you, it's not the way I want to live. I definitely want to be my face in the sun, but it's just not working out. So I make these videos. I was initially over the top for the topic that I brought up, but it broke the ice. To me, I broke the ground that way for myself, that I was able to finally decide to say something out loud publicly. And as far as my music, it's not that big a deal to me. It's not enough of a big. Put it this way: I realized drumming last night. I was making an attempt to make another song last night, right? And I realized, here it is. It's 6 p.m. right? Because I got to stop drumming. Ideally, by 7 p.m. is the agreement in my apartment, right? So I started to realize, I hate the fact that I'm wasting my energy talking to myself, playing this shit for myself over years, almost. I started when I was 10 years old, but I started physically, professionally attempting to be, a drummer, and known to my, even as far as, I want to say when I was in the Army back in '87. I started playing in '86. I was 16, but I haven't stopped really let it be known that I'm available to play music to my area, wherever I am, at over 10 years now. I could even market it that it's like, hey man, everybody knows, since I started to record with the semi-professional, quasi-professional people, right? And nobody wants to talk to me, and it's another Saturday night, 6 p.m., and I realized I should be playing in public right now. This is a waste of energy. I feel like a loser doing it. This is it. This is what I'm saying. And everybody who sees these videos that cares to look at this face on the camera here, and I get so to the point where I realize, I should be in a group of people doing something else with that group, playing music, and not one phone call. And that's the part that breaks me. That's what breaks me up, is that I know I'm just wasting my time. I'm not making any money out of it. I'm not going anywhere with it. And my son and I, now the other catch-22 is that I kind of did it to myself so I wouldn't have anybody interrupt my privacy with my son. However, that wasn't to say I didn't want to work. What that meant was, I need somebody to take care of me and my son. Details, like we're in our own room, our own apartment, our own living space. And I would show up in another room and play for 2 hours, and I would go back to my life with my son, and nobody bother us. Let me grow my son up. But you know what? I realize in my heart of hearts, I realize that I'm not like that much. Nobody cares about me that much. And you know what? that's just fine. And that's where I end up. That's where I end up as a man, looking twisted and bent and coming out with a tirade and crazy, because I get so mad that I'm wasting over years my ability to play, my capacity to perform at the level that I want to perform in, which is depreciating. It's not getting better. It's constant to a degree, but and nobody wants to pick me up, and the fact is that I'm getting more confused with the ability when I see that I'm getting less capable, or as time goes by, as they say, and there's not a phone call or an action. There's no action for me at all. Something snaps with me that I have to say something out loud, and I don't give a goddamn. Who cares? And may God forgive me because I didn't want to curse one time today, but I did it already, thinking about this, which is a new story for me, that I started cursing so fluidly, because I guess the floodgates are down now. They're open. Look, every day that goes by that I just had a hamburger helper meal and I just squeaked through it and I went to bed early, shame on you, not shame on me. I thank God for every tidbit that I get, every luxury, all these little gutsy things that I got to live with, that I got a guitar in my background and a speaker on the wall, and a subsidized Section 8 federal subsidized apartment, cheap rent, but you know what, and rent help, and food stamps, and Medicaid, I'm grateful, but you know what, I consider myself a political prisoner. That's what I consider myself. I consider myself being kept by my keepers, from the people in the city of Utica that know who I am and aren't doing anything about me. I don't want to live like this. I didn't ask to live like this. This is like being locked up in an asylum. You understand? 3 square meals a day. You get to walk around the grounds here and there, if you get those privileges. But like everybody else, you're no different than anybody else who's an inmate. It's a forced place to be. Nobody's asking me to stay, but nobody's assisting me either to get the hell out, on my own, a little bit out the gate. Where do you go? I started to watch a couple 1800s stories. One was the Count Dracula of BBC television with what's his name, the French guy, out of the library, Louis Jordan, and I started to watch. I saw Vanity Fair with Reese Witherspoon, another DVD, last night, and I started to see social structure as far as Victorian, a little pre-Victorian period, and I started to recognize, that's all it'll ever help. That's all everybody hopes to get back to. And it seems to me that rigid, church-structured, official church, not religion, just the official stance on the church, the position of the official authority of the government, authorized faction of the church. And then you get the morality that goes with it, because if you don't put your fork the right way while you're eating with the governess, then all of a sudden, you're not fit for conversation. Then you go to lineage of what family you come from, how many generations you can trace your roots back to. Very English.